The night feels endless inside the Blackridge mansion. The storm outside has stopped, but the silence is even worse. The only sound is the slow ticking of the old clock and the faint creaking of the wooden floors. Harper sits on her bed, staring at the candlelight dancing across her room's walls. She hasn't slept since the eyes in the portraits moved. She hears the others talking downstairs. Isaac wants everyone to stay together, but Harper tells him she just needs a moment alone. She tries to convince herself that everything will be fine, that the whispers and the portrait were only tricks of her mind. But as midnight comes closer, something changes in the air. The wind outside grows colder, and the wooden floor beneath her bed feels strangely warm, like something is breathing under it. Harper freezes when she hears a faint sound, a soft, broken cry. It's quiet at first, like someone sobbing far away. She leans closer to the floor, her heart beating fast. The sound becomes clearer. It's not just crying, it's a voice. "Help me." Harper's eyes widen. She pulls back, covering her mouth in fear. The voice comes again, softer but closer. "Harper, help me." She stands up quickly, knocking over the candle. The room falls into darkness. She fumbles to relight it, her hands shaking. When the flame returns, she sees a small shadow moving under the wooden planks, like someone crawling. She slowly steps backward toward the door, afraid to look away. The whisper comes one last time, low and cold. "You shouldn't have come back." The candlelight flickers again and goes out completely. Harper screams and footsteps rush toward her room. When the brothers open the door, she's sitting on the floor, pale, trembling and whispering just one thing. "There's someone under the floor." The morning light slowly enters Harper's room, but it brings no peace. She hasn't slept all night. Her eyes look tired, and her hands still shake. Isaac, Thomas, and Jacob gather around her bed, listening carefully as she explains what happened. "I heard a voice," she whispers. "It was crying under the floor. It said my name." Thomas doesn't believe her at first. "Maybe it was just the wind," he says, but his voice doesn't sound sure. Jacob walks across the room, pressing his ear to the wooden floor. For a few seconds, there is only silence, then a faint tapping sound, like knuckles knocking from below. Jacob jumps back. "Did you hear that?" Isaac kneels beside him and starts to check the floorboards. The wood is old, dusty, and covered with scratches. Some of the nails look newer, as if someone had fixed them not long ago. Harper watches in fear as Isaac pulls away the carpet near her bed. Under it, they find a small square piece of wood, a hatch, nailed shut with a strange carved symbol at the center. Luna recognizes the symbol. "It's the same mark that was behind the portrait in the attic," she says quietly. The air grows cold as soon as she speaks. Thomas warns, "Don't open it." "Not yet." But Harper can't stop staring at the hatch. She feels drawn to it, as if the voice below is still whispering only to her. Her heart beats fast. She kneels beside it, touches the wood, and whispers, "Who are you?" The house answers with a soft creak. Then, a voice whispers faintly from below, "You already know me." Everyone freezes. The floor trembles slightly, and dust falls from the ceiling. Something beneath the hatch moves slow and alive. Isaac grabs Harper's arm. "We're sealing this now," he says. But the whisper returns, softer and colder. It's too late. Night returns to the Blackridge mansion, heavy and silent. The air feels thick, like the house itself is holding its breath. Harper lies awake, staring at the hatch beneath her carpet. She can't stop thinking about the whisper, that strange voice calling her by name. Everyone else is asleep downstairs, but Harper can't resist. She gets out of bed, lights a candle, and kneels beside the hatch. The carved symbol glows faintly in the candlelight. She whispers softly, "Are you still there?" At first, nothing happens. Then she hears a faint sound, a soft tapping, like fingernails brushing against wood. Her heart races. "Who are you?" she asks again. The answer comes, weak but clear. "Help me, please." Harper's eyes fill with tears. The voice sounds like a child, scared and alone. "Where are you?" she whispers. "Down here." "I can't see, it's so dark." Harper's candle flickers. She leans closer, pressing her ear to the wood. Suddenly, a cold breath passes through the cracks and the voice changes. It's no longer gentle, it's angry. "You left me here." Harper gasps and jumps back. The candle falls, the flame almost dying. She grabs it quickly, her hands shaking. The air around her feels freezing now. The voice grows louder. "You left us all." Footsteps echo from under the floor, small and fast, running in circles below her. The boards rattle. Harper covers her ears and screams, "Stop." The noise stops instantly. The room goes completely silent. Then, slowly, the hatch begins to move on its own. The nails squeak, twisting as if invisible hands are pulling them out. One nail falls loose and rolls toward her. Harper stares at the hatch in horror as the voice whispers one last time. "We're not buried. We're waiting." The next morning, sunlight barely reaches Harper's room. Dust floats in the air, glowing faintly in the light. The hatch is still half open, one nail hanging loose. Harper sits on the floor, pale and quiet. Her brothers stand around her, Isaac, Thomas, Jacob, and Max, all looking down at the strange opening. Jacob shines a flashlight into the dark hole, but the beam disappears quickly. "It's deep," he mutters. "Like a tunnel." Thomas frowns. "We shouldn't go down there." But Isaac, the oldest, looks determined. "If something's under this floor, we need to know what it is." He removes the remaining nails carefully. The smell that escapes is awful, damp, rotten, and cold. Harper covers her mouth. Luna steps back, whispering a short prayer. When the hatch finally opens, they all lean over it. Beneath the floor lies a narrow tunnel, lined with stone and dirt. Isaac lowers a lantern tied to a rope. The flame flickers as it drops into the darkness. At the bottom, something shiny catches the light. Max reaches down and pulls it out, a small silver locket covered in dust and mud. He opens it slowly. Inside is a faded photograph, a little girl with dark curls, standing beside a woman. The woman's face looks familiar. Isaac freezes when he realizes who it is. It's our mother," he whispers. Harper's heart stops. Why would her picture be down there? No one answers. The air grows colder. The sound of soft crying rises again from the tunnel, this time louder, and not just one voice. Jacob leans closer to listen. A whisper echoes back, faint but clear. "She promised she'd come back for us." The lantern below flickers violently, then goes out. The tunnel falls into total darkness. And from that darkness, something breathes. The air inside Harper's room feels colder than before. The open hatch seems to breathe, sending out slow waves of cold air. No one speaks for a moment. The brothers exchange silent glances, afraid, but curious. Finally, Isaac ties a rope to an old bedpost. "I'm going down," he says. Thomas grabs his arm. "Are you out of your mind?" Isaac answers softly, "If those voices belong to the dead, maybe they want peace. We have to see." One by one, the brothers follow. Harper insists on joining, and though Isaac refuses at first, she doesn't listen. Together they climb down the narrow tunnel, their lanterns lighting the dirt walls. The deeper they go, the stronger the smell of rot becomes. At the end of the tunnel, they find a small wooden door, half broken and covered in strange symbols. Isaac pushes it open slowly and freezes. Inside is a small underground room, no larger than a child's bedroom. The walls are painted with faded drawings, stick figures, flowers, and smiling faces. But the floor is covered with tiny bones, dusty toys, and torn dresses. A soft tune plays somewhere in the dark, an old lullaby, broken and slow. Harper recognizes it instantly. "Our mother used to sing this," she whispers. Jacob lifts a doll from the floor, but its head turns on its own. He drops it in fear. The crying starts again, gentle at first, then louder. Dozens of small voices whisper together. We waited so long." The lanterns flicker. The toys begin to move, bouncing, rolling, clapping on their own. Small handprints appear on Harper's dress. She screams, but invisible fingers cling to her legs. The walls tremble and the voices rise in pain. She promised she'd never leave us. The floor shakes violently. Isaac shouts, "Everyone out, now!" But as they turn to escape, the tunnel behind them closes, sealing them in the crying room. The tunnel seals shut behind them with a heavy thud, trapping everyone inside the underground room. Dust falls from the ceiling as the air grows colder and harder to breathe. Harper clings to Isaac, shaking. "We're trapped," she cries. Isaac lifts the lantern higher, trying to find another way out. The flickering light reveals old carvings on the wall, names scratched deep into the stone. There are dozens of them. Luna runs her hand over the marks and stops when she sees one name that makes her heart freeze. Eleanor Blackridge. That was their mother's name. Thomas stares at it in disbelief. Why would her name be here? Before anyone can answer, the crying begins again, soft at first, echoing from the walls. Harper whispers they know her. The sound turns into whispers, overlapping voices repeating one line again and again. She promised she'd come back. Jacob finds something half buried under the toys, a small wooden box. Inside it lies a torn page from an old diary. Isaac reads it aloud, his voice shaking. The children were never meant to suffer. The lake must keep them safe until I can free them. The room grows colder. Luna whispers, "Our mother did this. She trapped them here." Harper begins to cry. No, she wouldn't. She loved us. But before she can finish, the drawings on the wall start to bleed. Red lines drip down slowly, forming faces, dozens of crying children staring at them. The whispers grow louder, almost angry. "You are her blood. You will finish what she began." The lantern flickers violently. Shadows move across the room like crawling shapes. Jacob yells, "The tunnel's opening." They turn to see the hatch above glowing faintly, pulling air upward. The cries turn to screams. Isaac shouts, "Go. Now!" As they climb out one by one, the final whisper follows them, cold and broken. "You cannot run from what she left behind." Everyone scrambles out of the tunnel, gasping for air as they collapse onto the wooden floor of Harper's room. The hatch slams shut behind them with a loud crack. For a moment, there is silence, only the sound of their fast breathing and pounding hearts. Luna looks down at her hands. They're covered in dirt and thin streaks of blood. "We shouldn't have gone down there," she whispers. "They know who we are now." Isaac stands up, still trying to understand what they discovered. If Mother trapped those children, then what did she promise them? No one answers. The floor beneath them begins to creak again, this time deeper and louder. Harper backs away slowly. "It's starting again," she says with trembling lips. The temperature drops sharply. Their breath becomes visible in the air. From under the floor, hundreds of whispers rise, crying, screaming, laughing, all mixed together. The boards start to shake violently. Jacob grabs the lantern and looks at the hatch. It's moving. The nails pop out one by one, flying across the room. The wooden planks split apart, revealing a dark gap that grows wider with every second. A foul wind blows through, carrying the smell of mud and decay. Then, pale hands begin to push through the cracks, small, ghostly hands reaching out from the blackness below. Harper screams as one of them grabs her ankle. Isaac pulls her back, shouting, "Hold on." The voices from below cry together, "Let us out." The room shakes so hard that the ceiling light crashes to the floor, sparks flying everywhere. For a moment, everything stops, total silence. Then, with a sharp crack, the floor bursts open completely. A wave of cold mist rises, and Harper is gone. Only her silver locket lies on the floor, dripping with lake water. The whisper that remains says softly, "One by one, you'll return to her." The whispers fade, but Harper's voice still echoes through the cracks. What waits beneath the floor, and will they bring her back? Find out in the next episode. The Mirror in the Basement. Before you leave, subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss what happens next. The nightmare has only just begun.